All right, what's up everyone? My name is Matt, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 great ESL games. During this video, I'm going to show you not only how to teach each one of these games, but how to adapt it and add and expand language to it. If you guys would like to download this PowerPoint with all 5 games in it yourself, there'll be a link in the video description below. Just click that link and you can download it in minutes. If you guys enjoy content like this, please don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. Okay, let's check out these 5 games. Okay, let's take a look at these 5 games. So the 5 games for the day are the monkey game, what do you want to say, the slow reveal game, keep or give game, and the spinning wheel game. Let's take a look at the first game. The first game is the slow reveal game. Now, this game is a very basic game. Essentially, after you teach new vocabulary, you can play this game, and the first student to say whatever the word is will win a point. But I'll show you how I expand on it and make it a little bit more than that. So for example, just imagine you just taught 6 new words and you present this to them. So you can say, what's this? Or you can make it harder. What's behind the tiles? Or what can you see? Or any of these types of simple questions. Now the key is, I'm gonna say it and I also want the students to say it, okay? I wanna actually teach them to ask a question, not just do the most simple thing, which is just say whatever the word is. So you just click the button and it'll automatically start removing tiles one by one. Now, the first student in your class to realize what it is should say what it is, okay? Should say the word, okay? Now you could do it with the whole class all at once, or you could call on one student from each team to participate, and whichever student says the correct answer first, in this case, it's a jacket, right? I want them to say, it's a jacket. And you can expand on this depending on their level. And you can actually expand on it by making questions pop up. Like that teacher thing can pop up again with another bubble, asking additional questions. For example, like, what color is it? Or, when do you wear a jacket? What season do you wear a jacket? Something like this, okay? And the students need to answer you. So if you think about it, you could do this with even higher grades. Like for example, a lot of teachers will only play the slow reveal game with like kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3. But you could play this with older students. You just ask more of them, ask more of them. Have them have to answer a question, or it could turn into a dialogue, right? 2 things pop up, a question and answer, and you could expand on it any way that you want. Like what's your favorite jacket, or what color is your favorite jacket, or where did you buy your jacket, or any of these questions could be added to something like this. Okay, so again, what's this? You click on it, starts revealing. The first student to realize what it is should say, okay, it's a hat or a winter hat. And again, you can program the PowerPoint to have additional questions. And you could even do it with grade 3 or grade 2, like program additional questions. Even grade 1, I mean, it depends what you're focusing on in your class. So this is just a way to think about these games where you can always expand on them. Ask more of your students. Don't just have them say one word. Turn it into a dialogue or ask a question, So students have to do more. And the key is that it's fun. They want to do it because it's fun. And rinse and repeat. So I just have a bunch of slides here so you can see. Now, if you do decide to download this PowerPoint, you will get it the way it is here, and I will also have just the basic template, which doesn't have anything behind it, okay? So it'll just be blank. So if you want to take the template, you can just use this one for your class, and then obviously just add in whatever word it is, okay? So that is the first game. Okay, game number 2. Game number 2 is the monkey game. Okay, so if you've watched a few of my other videos, I've included the monkey game, but I wanted to put it here as well because I think that maybe some people didn't really want to teach the PowerPoints that I included this game in. So maybe you like the game, but you didn't think you would actually teach the full lesson. So I'm going to give you the monkey game in this PowerPoint as well. So that way, if you like it, you want to play it, then you can download it here. Okay, so here's how the game works. In this game, there are 4 different fruits, and each fruit is for one of the teams. Now, if you only have 2 teams, you can have each team have 2 fruits. So for example, in this class, team 1 would be the strawberry team, team 2 would be the orange team 3 would be the banana team, and team 4 would be the apple team. Okay, so the way it works is I would have one representative from each team stand up at their seats, And then I will have like on the board, I will have written something for the whole class to ask. For example, which one do you want? Or what do you want? And I want the whole class or their team, like for example, if team number 1 goes first, for them to ask their teammate this. That way everyone's getting involved, everyone's speaking some English in this game, even if like they're kind of observing most of the game. Okay, so for example, team 1 would say, which one do you want? And the representative from the strawberry team would say, I want ride a bike, or I choose ride a bike, or I would like ride a bike. And you can see that ride a bike is outlined in green, and you just click the green one and the strawberry will go to the green. Okay, and then you move on to the next group, the next team, team orange. So the same thing happens. They say, which one do you want? And this little boy says, I want run, or I choose run. Okay, and you click here and it goes to run, because run is yellow and this one is yellow. Okay, and rinse and repeat with the other teams. So let's say team banana says, okay, they also want run. Okay, that's fine. They can choose the same one. Okay, I don't want any arguments between the teams. Okay, they can still choose the same one. And team apple says, I want skip rope. Okay, and then the whole class will ask, what can you do? And we'll go back through with each student. So the representative from team 1 will then say, I can ride a bike. Okay, team orange, I can run. Team banana, I can run. And team apple, I can skip rope. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is send the monkeys. Okay, there will be 4 monkeys. Okay, sometimes there's 3. In this template, I've given you all 4 each time. You can delete one of them if you like. You can only have 1 monkey if you want. It's as easy as clicking on it and just deleting them. Okay, and so pretty much we will send the monkeys. If a monkey lands where one of their team fruits are, one of their team fruits is, they will be eaten by the monkey and their team will lose. Okay, so essentially the team is guessing which flashcard the monkey's not going to go to. And if they're right, they can get 5 points or whatever. So let's see where the monkeys go.
Monkey, 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 monkey.
Okay, so team strawberry loses. Team apple loses.
Monkey, monkey, monkey.
Okay, so far we're safe. Okay, wow, okay. So team orange and team banana both win. Okay, so both of their teams would get 5 points each. Okay, that's basically the way it works. Okay, let's go check out another one. So you can see here's some different language. So this is for my grade 5 ailments class. I taught them 6 different ailments and then like 5 or 6 different things they could do to remedy their ailment. So same thing would happen. Each student would choose one. So let's just send them all to one of them. Okay, and then they would do the dialogue. So this dialogue was a little longer. It's like, what's the matter? Okay, what's the matter? And then the student would say, for example, team apple, I have a headache. What should I do? Okay, now in this game, because it's a longer dialogue, you can bring up 2 students from one team. You know, you could do that in the previous one as well. You know, what can you do? You could bring up 2 students from each team as well to do that. Totally up to you. But in this one, I definitely think it's worth it to bring up like 2 students from each team. So you'd have the student that chose which one, and then another student would come up after. Now, what I would do is I'd have those 4 students who originally chose first, and then after they already chose, I would select another student from their team to be their helper. Okay, to do the dialogue with them. Okay, so for example, for Team Strawberry, when they're going through the dialogue, I would say, okay, come up here, and then I would call another student who would like to help. Okay, and the student raised their hand. Okay, both of them come up. Okay, and they go back and forth. What's the matter? And then the next student says, I have a toothache. What should I do? And their helper says, if you have a toothache, you should see the dentist. Okay, and then go on to the next group. Okay. What's the matter? I have a broken arm. What should I do? If you have a broken arm, you should see the doctor. Okay. And they can also add in the ending like, thank you, you're welcome, blah, 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 blah. Okay. There's just not really enough space on this slide for me to add in all that language. But if you played this just previously, like in that class, I have a whole game with that dialogue. This could be the game you play right after that. So they actually need to remember part of that dialogue without it being shown, which has its own value. You know, if they're just able to read everything off the board, it's less effective. So, but after they've already done that in one of the games, in this game, or if you play this as a review the following week, where they should already know, what's the matter, they know that part, okay? And then the harder part of the dialogue is laid out for them here, and then the end of the dialogue, thank you so much, and then the other person says, you're welcome, my pleasure, or whatever, okay? Those part of the dialogues, the easier part of the dialogues, are removed and not shown here, but the students have to remember how to do that, okay? And then we say send the monkeys, and the monkeys come, and let's see if any of the teams can survive. All right, banana team's out. Strawberry team's out. Apple team's out. Okay, orange, team orange, can you survive? Okay, good. So team orange survives, okay? And team orange would get 5 points or whatever, okay? And this is just another example. You could do it with a what did you do this summer? I went hiking this summer holiday, whatever. So this is the same thing, same exact exercise, and you send the monkeys and see who survives, okay? Okay. And then here's a template. So in the template, I just have nothing included. Now, if you do want, let's say you want to actually use this PowerPoint, how does it work? You can just right-click this and go to Format Picture and click on that, and it'll say Add Picture, and you can choose from your files which picture you want. It's as simple as that, okay? Adjusting these slides and changing the pictures is really, really easy. If you download this PowerPoint and you're having issues with me, just email me and I'll walk you through it. It's really, really quite simple. And again, adding your dialogue. Now, when I used to play the ninja game, which is similar to this game, the monkey game is just my version of it. I didn't used to always put the dialogue on the screen. I didn't always put it there. But I just think it definitely helps a lot for the students to be able to see it, and it saves you time in class. Like if every single time you're playing a game, you have to turn around to the board and write the whole dialogue out, you're just gonna cause classroom management issues. If you have your own classroom, then sure, write it on the board ahead of time or something. But I always recommend that put as much stuff on the PPT as you can without it being too cluttered and crazy. That's why in the previous one, I didn't put the other parts of the dialogue here. It would just be too much, and this part would be too small. You just imagine if it said, "What's the matter? I have a headache. What should I do? If you have a headache, you should see the doctor. Oh, thank you. You're so helpful. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure." It's too much on the slide. So I just think try to make it as simple as possible on the slide, and then if you need to add some extra stuff on the board, like on the fly, there you can, but don't be writing the whole dialogue out. It's a waste of time, and when you turn your back to the students, it just leaves open a lot of opportunity for them to misbehave, okay? Let's check out the next game. Okay, let's go on to game number 3. Now, game number 3 is the keep or give game. Now, I absolutely love this game. It's a very fun game. The students love it, and it's just a great game. So the way it works is very simple. On the first slide they see there's going to be a dialogue, whatever the target language is, and there's an opportunity on this slide to get more points, okay, to select the right one, to guess the right answer and get points, okay, before they even do anything with keep or give. So for example here, I would have, let's say team 1 goes first, I would bring up one student from team 1, and I would say, okay, team 1, please ask him the question. If you ask very nicely, you can get 5 points, okay? So team 1 says, what time is it? I say, oh, team 1, good job, team 1. And I give 5 points to team 1 for asking the question very nicely. Again, I've mentioned this in previous videos, but this is one of the ways I can control their behavior, is if they all ask the question, they're all participating, they can get extra points. So at least those 10 kids or whatever on team 1 are asking the question, focusing and paying attention. And the other students on the other teams, I'm also keeping an eye on them. If I notice that they're talking or like just misbehaving in some way, then I will quickly go over and call those students out and take away points from their team. And if you're consistent with this, you'll have better classroom control, because if the points are very close in the class and then students keep losing points because they're misbehaving, there'll be enough peer pressure from their teammates to get them to be quiet, okay? And if you're very consistent with this, it'll work. So team 1 says, what time is it? And the representative from team 1 needs to choose. It's 7:15, it's 10:45, or it's 1:05. Okay, so let's say they choose 1:05. So they say it's 1:05. Okay, 1:05 is wrong. Now, if they did choose the correct answer, let's see what the correct answer is. Okay, if they did say it's 10:45, they could get an extra 3 points or whatever you like. Okay, regardless of whether or not they choose the correct answer here, they're going to get to go to the next slide, okay? And I would have the entire class, the whole class, ask, do you want to keep or give? Because what's going to happen is I'm going to reveal a certain point value. It could be a positive point value or a negative point value. Now, if they decide to keep, it means they're keeping whatever the point value is on their team, whether it's positive or negative, okay? So let's say it's negative. Their team loses however many points there are. Well, if it's positive, their team gets and gains however many points there are. Or they can decide to give, okay, to another team. And if they say give, you need to ask them which team do you want to give the points to? Team 2, Team 3, or Team 4? Let's say they say, I want to give the points to Team 4, and it reveals that it's negative points. Team 4 will lose the points. If it's positive points, Team 4 will gain that amount of points. Okay, so generally, if there's a team that's winning by a lot, they'll try to give them points because they're hoping maybe it'll be like a loss for that team. But I mean, they don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's another gain for that team. So it's an exciting game because of the gambling aspect of it. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't know if it's going to be positive or negative. So let's say, for example, they say, I want to keep. Okay, I want to keep. Okay, and you can see that I have the language written out here. I want to keep or I want to give. Okay, so they say, I want to keep, and I reveal, oh, +3. So team 1 is cheering. They're so happy and relieved that, they're keeping positive points. Okay. And here's another example with a different set of language. So for example, the target language here was the occupations class. So what do you want to be when you grow up? Again, let's say it's Team 3's turn. So Team 3 comes up. One student from Team 3 comes up. I say, Team 3, if you ask the question very nicely, you can get 3 or 5 points. Okay. So Team 3 says, what do you want to be when you grow up? Good job, Team 3, 3 points or 5 points or whatever. And that student says, I want to be a scientist when I grow up. I say, okay, a scientist. Good, that's good. Scientists are good. Let's see. Oh, no, scientist is not the right answer. I'm sorry. And I say, what's this? And they say, engineer. I say, what's this? A police officer. Okay, let's check. The engineer. Okay, the engineer was the correct answer. Okay, regardless of whether or not they chose the correct answer or the wrong answer, you get to move on to the keep or give. So again, the whole class says, do you want to keep or give? And this time the student's like, the last two were positives. This one's got to be negative. Okay, for sure it's negative. So they want to give. So they say, I want to give. And I say, well, which team? Which team do you want to give it to? And they say, Team 1. We don't like Team 1. Okay, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, let's see. Team 1, are you ready? Oh no, more positives. So Team 1 gets 3 more points. Team 1 is so excited, and that team that gave them the points are so angry. Okay, and that's the way this game works. And here's another example. You could do it with the ailments class. So the whole class would say, or the team would say, for example, you bring up a student from Team 4. Their team says, "What's the matter?" And they say, I have a cold. What should I do? Okay, and then. Actually, for this one, I would probably bring up 2 students from their team, and they would play the dialogue out this way. That way, both students are involved. And the student who's answering the question is the one choosing what they want. Okay, so you can see here, one student will say, "I have a cold. What should I do?" And the other student will say, "If you have a cold, you should," and they'll choose one. All right, take some medicine, drink more water, or get more rest. So they say, "I want to take some medicine." Okay. Oh no, it's wrong. All right, let's see what the correct answer was. Oh, get more rest. Okay. Again, regardless of what they chose, they can go on to the next slide. Their team asks, "Do you want to keep or give?" They say, I definitely want to give now. I think it's going to be negative. Let's give it to team. I want to give. Or which team? Team 2. Team 2, are you ready? Let's see. Yay! Team 2 loses 1 point. Okay. So this game is exciting. The students really like it. It gets them really focused. It's gambling. It's just a fun game. It's a fun concept for a game, keeping and giving, and there's all this extra language you can add in there. You can make it more you can make it harder if you like. You could change the language in some way if you want. It's totally up to you. But this concept for this type of game is really great. Okay, and of course I include a template. So the template just has everything blank, and again, you can click away and see. So if you download this PowerPoint, Obviously you'll get everything here, but you have a template which is already cleared out, you know. But I recommend, like, let's say you download this PowerPoint because you have your class already made and you just want to add in one of these games at the end of your class. You can just copy and paste whatever you have on your original slides, you know, onto this slide, so that it's really simple. You just delete this stuff out and then just drop in whatever dialogue or whatever words or whatever is from your lesson right on there. Pretty much ready to go. You know, you can make a few copies of this slide and just change the point value. You know, everything's already programmed to pop up when you click. So it's a nice template for a game, and it'll definitely add some fun to your class. So let's go on to the next game. Okay, let's move on to game number 4. Now, game number 4 is called the What Do You Want to Say game. Okay, and this game can be really, really easy, or you can increase the difficulty, and it could actually be used to teach and play games with like middle school or even high school, depending on what you're doing. So the simplest version of this game is like what you play with like grade 1 or grade 2 or grade 3, depending on their level. And all they really need to do is recognize one of these numbers and say it. And when you click it, the number will fly away and it will reveal a picture behind it. So it's like the slow reveal game, except they're choosing which one they want. It's not just automatically removing them. So they need to recognize and say the number. Or you can change these so that they're flashcards, okay? So they have to say the flashcard. So for example here, a student from one of the teams comes up and they choose 12. Okay, so they can walk up and either touch the screen or tell you 12, okay? And it reveals one of the, like a part of the picture which is behind it, which could be a vocab word that you just taught during that class, or it can be for review. You know, this is the review at the end of the month, and there's like maybe 20 or 30 different words that it could be. So it's not so easy. They need to try to recognize what that is. Okay, they probably don't know right now, so ask another student from another team. He comes up and says 4, and that's not helping. Next team, 14. Still not sure. Another student comes up, 6. Okay, so you can get the picture. Each student has to recognize one of these tiles and say what it is. Now, of course, you can make it as hard as you want. Okay, you can change that so that these tiles themselves are pictures that are their flashcards. Okay, or here's just the simple one, which are numbers. The first student to actually realize that it's a frog will get points for their team. That's the most basic way. Or, for example, like this. So let's say, same concept. The students will choose one of the words. So in this case, the student says soldier. They click on it. But in this game, it actually reveals points. Okay, it actually reveals points, not a picture behind the word. Okay, it just reveals the points. You can see here that some of them are sort of revealed already. You can change those so that it's a solid background so they can't see what it is. I'm just giving you some examples, so I don't really care. I don't think anyone's going to download this PowerPoint and use it as is. You can obviously change these pictures very easily. You can just format the tile and put whatever picture from your files you'd like there. Okay, but in this game, like, the simplest way to play is the students just need to say the vocab. Okay, like computer or bank or whatever, and get points. Or you can have them, do some sort of dialogue with it or some sort of language with it, or you can ask them questions. So each one of these things could be like corresponding with one of the lessons that you actually taught. So if, let's say, for example, they come up and point at this one. Okay, well, you need to ask them, like, what's she doing? What's her hobby? What's your hobby? And the person can say, oh, I like to play the piano. Or, they could say, I like to, whatever their hobby is. But the point is they chose this slide, which cued them to answer a certain type of question related to this. Okay? It's up to you totally how you'd like to play these types of games. In my class, I would try to get as much language out of them as I could. So I might, let's say they walk up and choose this one. I would say, okay, well, what are they doing? Or where are they? How many people are there? What season is it? How's the weather? Whatever it is. Okay? And then they answer you, and then you reveal the points. Now, like I just said, you can take away these points if you like, and you can actually just have a picture behind there, just like the same way it was here. You can change these slides so that it's just, there's actually flashcards here instead of numbers, and they need to perform some sort of dialogue with that, or answer some sort of question. Then afterward they can click it away to reveal one of the pieces of the picture. Okay, so these games are very versatile. There's a lot of different ways you can play them and try to make it more interesting for your students. Now, if let's say you had everything on here, every single slide, every single picture, is part of the same lesson or related to the same lesson. Okay, like let's say for example they're all just colors. Okay, just a bunch of different colors. Then like you would ask like, well, they point at one and you say, what color is it? And then they tell you, oh, it's orange. Then you say, okay, what animal is orange, or what fruit is orange, or whatever. Okay, what toy is orange, whatever. And then they need to answer you, and after they answer it correctly, you click and reveal points. Or, like I said before, no points, but just one of the tiles goes away, revealing the picture behind. And this is really easy to edit, this template, like pretty much. I have 2 slides, I'm at 2 tiles back to back here. You can remove the tile behind, and just put pictures there. Or another way you can do it is you can have the points here, and the point is also a click away slide, a click away tile. This is click away. Like I can click it again and it'll go away. Okay, so behind there could be another picture. Okay, so there's other ways you can do it. Like, okay, they choose this one. What's this? It's a notebook. What do you do in your notebook? You take notes in your notebook. Good job. Click it, 4 points, click it again, and there's revealing part of the picture which is behind there. So they not only get points, but they can also get a chance to reveal part of the hidden picture. Okay, it's very simple to put that picture behind. Like if you have a big picture you want to put in the back, just stretch it out, put it there, right click it, hit send to back, and it will go into the back. Okay, student chooses this one. What game is this, or what sport is this? They say, oh, it's ping pong. Okay, or you could ask also, do you like ping pong? Where do you play ping pong? Whatever, and then 4 points. Click again, and then it reveals the picture behind. So, and here's another example of how to play this game. So with older students, you could play it like this. They need to make a sentence with the word. Okay, so you call in one of the students, they come up and they're like, I choose attack. I say, okay, make a sentence. Okay, I was attacked by the tiger. Okay, and they can turn into the past tense. Or that could be the purpose of the game, to use the past tense if it's a verb. Or so, for example, they chose attack, they gave you a good sentence, click it, 5 points. That could be the end there, that they just get 5 points. Or again, you can click it again, revealing something else, some sort of special thing behind there. Totally up to you. Next team comes up, they choose natural. You say, okay, make a sentence. They say, oh, there was a big natural disaster in India this year. Great sentence, good job, let's see. Okay, 3 points. Okay, and that could be the end, or you can click it and it will reveal a picture behind. So you can see how you could use a game like this to play with older students. It doesn't have to be, oh, just click a number, reveal a picture. It could be click a word, or choose a word, say a sentence, or it could be, you can also have it like you have a bag, you have a bag, or like have all the words on a table, and when they choose one, they have to perform some sort of dialogue between students. So they choose power, okay, they choose the power slide, the power flashcard, and each student needs to then do a dialogue with a classmate based on whatever that word is, whatever it says on there. There's a bunch of ways you could expand these types of games, is my point. You've got to be creative with classes like this so the students feel interested, okay? The point is, like, it's just fun if they're getting points. And they'll be more interested if they're getting points, okay? And then of course I have a template for you. So the template is very basic. In the basic template, I just have the numbers, but again, you can easily change this to whatever you like, okay? So the basic template just has nothing behind it. If you download this PowerPoint, obviously you'll be given all of these, so you can adjust it as you like. And yeah, that's how this game works. Okay, here's the final game, game number 5. Now, game number 5 is the spinning wheel game. It's a really great template. This type of spinning wheel can be added to like the end of, or the middle to end of any lesson, and it's a fun and exciting game. I think if you're going to use it with grade 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, they're going to like it a lot. If you use it with like grade 6 or middle school classes, don't include it that often, I would say. Maybe like once a month, or like maybe once a semester, depending on how much the students like it. Because if you're just playing it the most basic way, it could be quite boring. But I'll just take a look at what it looks like. So this is a basic spinning wheel. You click here, it spins. You click it again, it stops. Okay. On this slide, I have 2 of them. So, for example, this is the What Can You Do lesson. This is for grade 2. So the class will say, what can you do? Okay. They spin both. and then they say the answer. I can ride a bike. I can't fly. Or in one of my what can you do's, I included the word but. So in the middle, there's the word but. I can ride a bike, but I can't fly. Okay, so this is the most basic way to play it. You can, the key here is they have to be able to read what's here, you know. So it's a reading activity. They need to read and recognize what it is, you know, because they're seeing the flashcards all the time. They're memorizing how to say everything, but reading everything is another challenge. Or for example, in this game, in this lesson, I mean, the language was, which festival do you like best? So the whole class would say, which festival do you like best? And they would spin the wheel. On the wheel, there are the festivals, and around the outside here are the different things they do at each of the festivals. So for example here, I like Easter best. I like Easter best. And then they would say, we, and then they have to remember which one goes with Easter. So it should be, we eat chocolate eggs at Easter. So in this class, I would have taught the festivals. Actually, I taught the festivals in the first class. In the second class, I teach these different things they do at each festival. Okay, and at the end of the second class, it all gets put together in this spinning wheel game. So this just gives you an idea about how you could use the spinning wheel at the end of your class or during your class to include this language. So they need to remember, okay, Hanukkah, which one goes with Hanukkah? So if they roll it to Hanukkah, okay, oh, lucky there. They roll Hanukkah, they spin Hanukkah, they have to remember spin the dreidel. Okay, or if they spin to the Mid-Autumn Festival, they have to remember that eat mooncakes is the one that corresponds to the Mid-Autumn Festival, and then there's points assigned here. Okay, so this is just one way to play it. Another way you could do it is, you don't actually have points here, but each one of these is just a color, and the color corresponds to a certain amount of points. Like you have a key on the side which says like yellow is 6 points, red is 5 points, green is 3 points or 4 points or whatever. And so after they spin, you know, whatever they land on is a certain color which corresponds with a certain amount of points, and after they say the target language, they can get a certain amount of points. Okay, so, or it could be that, like, for example, the Chinese New Year's on here twice, but it's different colors. Okay, or Halloween's on here twice, but there's different color ones for Halloween. So not just because if they land on Halloween, they might land on the 5-point Halloween or the 6-point Halloween or the 2-point Halloween or whatever you want. Okay, but there's a lot of ways you could adjust this type of template to suit a different type of class. Like for example, when my first day of school class for grade 6, when they spin the wheel, so first they spin the wheel, and then let's say they land on Christmas. On the side, I had like the word Christmas or a picture of Christmas, and they click on that, which leads them to another slide where they have to perform some sort of dialogue or answer a question. Okay, and after they do that, then you click on a link which takes you back to another spinning wheel where they spin and then get points. There's just so many ways you could use a spinning wheel to do a bunch of stuff in your class. If you're curious about how I did that in my grade 6 class for the first day of school, I'll leave a link on the top of the screen. You can check it out and see. It's toward the end of, not the end, but like the second half of that lesson, you can see how I incorporated the spinning wheel. So it's just, there's a ton of different ways you could do stuff like this. And here's the template. So basically, this is just the basic template for the spinning wheels, and they just have points on there. There's places for you to add your dialogue in. You could remove one of these spinning wheels. You could put pictures or flashcards on the screen here. You know, once you get good at PowerPoint, you can incorporate so many different things into it and just make your lessons better and better. And just having this template that has this programmable spinning wheel in here already is just, it's super helpful, you know. So yeah, that's all 5 of the games. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Okay, those are the 5 games for ESL classes. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to download those 5 games and teach them yourself, don't forget there's a link in the video description below. Just click that link and you can download all 5 of those games in moments. As always, if you guys like content like this, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. If you guys have any suggestions for videos you guys would like to see me make, just let me know in the comments below. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.